Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Hardcore Challenge Live, the official webcast of the Hardcore Challenge. What is the Hardcore Challenge, you might ask? It is nothing more than the freaking pinnacle of fantasy football competition. Because if you ain't playing in the Hardcore Challenge, then you are not really playing against the best competition out there in fantasy football. And I'm willing to say that because I played against most of these guys. So we have put a qualified bunch of owners together over the years, and I would put our fantasy football owners up against damn near any other league. And I would say we would smoke that ass. So, that's my personal belief, and take it for what it's worth. So, I am, tonight, of course, as it is every Wednesday night, except for when it's Halloween, is our Game of the Week edition, as we get you ready for the Thursday night game and the beginning of the upcoming week, which is Week 10 this week. Only 13 weeks in the Hardcore Challenge regular season this season, since we extended the playoffs through the expansion one round to have the AFC meet the NFC in the Hardcore Bowl 9 this year. And because we've done that, the regular season had to shrink by one game. Therefore, there's only 4 games left. You're going to play this game, and then everybody's going back into your division. So shit's about to get real over the next month. Because this is your last out-of-division game. Your next 3 are against your other 3 division rivals. So you're head-to-head on some of you divisions that are tied and tight right now. Your head-to-head records are going to come into play big time. If you can get a sweep against an opponent that you were battling for first place, that could be enough to put you in the playoffs and to end their season. So this is the last month of the Hardcore Challenge. Because of the way things have shifted, everybody's schedule is identical now. Everybody plays their first division games the first 3 weeks, and then their second round of division games the last 3 weeks. So it is going to get real hairy down the stretch. Real hairy down the stretch. So as I was looking at the matchups for this week, there were only really two matchups that kind of stood out to me. You had, in the AFC, you got Knox Vegas Anarchy, who took a tough loss and a chance to close the gap against Tom as he finally took a loss. So Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood fell to 8-1. He had a chance to close the gap, but he took a tough loss. 6-3, sitting in second place. He knows he needs to run the table as he's getting ready for his division schedule. The other end of that, you got Bison Broncos sitting at 6-3, also coming off a loss, and they're holding a slight 1-game lead in their division. So I was looking at that. Is that really a game of the week? Because you got 2 teams coming off a loss, even though one's a division leader, one's in second place and sitting in the first wild card spot. Currently, they're both playoff teams, but they're both coming off a loss. Now, I had to look at the other side of the spectrum. You've got Donkey Punch, one of the hottest teams in the league on a 5-game winning streak. 6-3, right now in a 3-way tie for the Wild West in the NFC. You got Vandalay Industries, their opponent for the week, sitting also at 6-3 on a 2-game winning streak, sitting 1 game out of first place behind Skull Crushers, who is leading the entire league in scoring and leading the NFC in the power rankings. That, to me, just seemed like the easy pick for Game of the Week. So that, Hardcore Challenge owners, is our Week 10 Game of the Week. You've got Donkey Punch, co-leader, 3-way co-leader of the NFC Wild West, former league champion, facing off against Vandalay Industries. Also a veteran owner at 6-3. Now, Rob has never made the playoffs because of, obviously, he was stuck in the Great White North with Tom, who won the division every goddamn year. So, made it a little difficult for Rob. But he has been in the league since 2015. He's got a couple of years under his belt, and he has put together a solid squad this season. So you have Vandelay Industries facing off against Donkey Punch in your Week 10 Game of the Week. So let's take a closer look at the matchup, shall we? As you have Donkey Punch coming in with Kirk Cousins at the helm against Brock Osweiler for Vandelay Industries. You got Osweiler at home against New England. Cousins at home against the Vikings. How could anybody ever give anybody any kind of advantage when you're talking about Brock frickin' Osweiler? And let's not forget how terrible the Donkeys looked this last week. So, to expect Osweiler to have a great game against the defending Super Bowl champs is, I suppose it's possible. They have a weak defense, but I'm definitely leaning toward Kirk Cousins and Donkey Punch with the big advantage at quarterback. Now at the running back position, you've got Melvin Gordon and Joe Mixon for Donkey Punch going against Thompson for the Washington and Tevin Coleman for Atlanta for Vandelay Industries. Coleman is not a big scorer. He's on my team as well. And Thompson is a wild card. He's the guy who has the possibility of maybe break something out. Melvin Gordon's playing Jacksonville. Jacksonville has a stout defense. Mixon's at Tennessee. Same thing. On the road against stout defenses. I don't see a huge advantage either way. I think Thompson and Gordon are going to equal each other out, and I think Coleman and Mixon may do the same. I call the running backs a wash. Now looking at the wide receivers, you've got Hopkins, wide receiver for Houston. Obviously hurt by not having Deshaun Watson throwing him the ball anymore. On the road at the Rams with Thomas, wide receiver for New Orleans. And on the other side, you've got Curse for the Jets, Lockett for the Seahawks for Vandelay Industry. Big advantage to Donkey Punch in the wide receiver category. Big advantage. Doyle for Indianapolis is going for Donkey Punch at tight end against Pittsburgh at home. Vandelay Industries has Gronk at Denver. Gronk could have a big game. I'm going to give the lean at the tight end position to Vandelay Industries. Gronk on the road, we just seen how bad the Donkeys looked against the Eagles. I don't give a shit that they're at home. It's not going to matter. They have looked really bad the last few weeks, and your stinking Brock Osweiler is not going to be your Band-Aid. No. He is a Band-Aid for no problem. So, I think Denver has a bad game. Gronk's going to have a big game. I'll give the advantage to Vandelay Industries at the tight end position. Now at the flex, you've got Donkey Punch going with the wide receiver, Robert Woods, and you have Vandelay Industries going with running back Kelly from Washington. So they're going with the double running back, which is usually not good. He's starting a running back for Washington at the flex and at his number one running back position. That usually doesn't bode well. I'm going to give the lean to Donkey Punch, rolling with Robert Woods, wide receiver for the Rams. Kickers, they're freaking kickers, man. How do you know what a freaking kicker's going to do? Well, unless they're playing in a goddamn snowstorm or a freaking monsoon, it's a kicker. Kickers are a wash. It's a crapshoot with a kicker. Now, defense, you got the Titans at home against the Bungles for Donkey Punch, and you got the Saints on the road at Buffalo for Vandelay Industries. I got to take the Titans at home and give them a little bit of a lean as you got the Bengals coming to town. So that's a favorable matchup for them. Saints on the road at the Bills. I got a feeling the Bills are going to have a big bounce back game. They looked good against the Raiders, and they looked like shit against the Jets. So I got a feeling they're due for a bounce back, and I think they'll put some points up on the Saints, which will keep the Saints' defensive scoring low. The only way the Saints can get some points possibly is a turnover, which those are hard to predict. I got to give the lean at the advantage of looking at the pregame breakdown. The Titans at home against the Bengals. Now, look at the individual defensive players. You've got Buckner on the defensive line for San Francisco. All these are for Donkey Punch. Woodyard, linebacker for Tennessee. Vaccaro, defensive back for the Saints. And Zach Brown, linebacker for the Redskins. Going up against Vandal Industries, defensive individual starters of Donald, defensive lineman for the Rams, Alexander, linebacker for the Bills, White, defensive back for the Bills, and his flex player has yet to be placed. He's currently got that empty. Of course, he'll be filling that for tomorrow. So it's obviously hard to make a call without seeing his flex player, but I don't see, other than Donald possibly, I don't see any real huge guys in their matchups looking across their individual defensive players. So I think it's going to come down to if any of these guys get a splash play, kind of like what happened for Stinky Pinky in last week's game of the week, getting 23 points out of Bobby Wagner. So those are hard to call and hard to predict. Just looking at the lineups and with the way these guys have scored, I don't see a huge advantage. But looking back across the lineups, I've got to go with the NFL.com prediction. Is pretty much the same prediction I got. Donkey Punch's winning streak is not going to end this week. I'm picking Donkey Punch to win. And not only are they going to win, I believe they will win big. So we will see. Now, I'm going to try to bring their owner on the show. Now, he is a little technology challenged because, you know, he is a Broncos fan. So, I mean, enough said. So, when you receive your invite, turn your phone horizontally, and hit accept. That's sideways. Sideways for you Slackjaw folk. That's sideways. And hit accept. We'll see if this works. So some of you guys seem to be technology challenged, so it's difficult. Oh my God!
We need more light.
Now.
Hang on.
He's got the gun show out. Look at this shit.
Oh man, God, I'm so handsome. So, can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay.
Yes. That's why I was startled.
Trying to find a good place to
see.
sit here.
My God.
Sorry.
What's up with this facial?
It's cold. It's cold here, man.
Cold? Good Lord. It's 85.
I know you forgot what that means.
So, we have with us J-Dub, owner of the Donkey Punch.
Yeah.
One of the hottest teams in the whole freaking league right now. I don't know how that happened.
Luck. It's all luck.
You started out. What'd you start out? 1-3. You were 1-3.
I was doing pretty bad. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, what happened?
Well, honestly, I got really lucky with a couple of waiver wire pickups. I mean, Deshaun Watson, I picked him up off the waiver wire. I think I got Gordon off the waiver wire. He's really heating up. And who else did I grab off the waiver that's doing good? But you know that I'm kind of waiting for a couple of the young kids, Njoku and Mixon, to kind of pick it up. I'm hopeful that they'll be keepers down the line, but you never know. You never know.
All right. Well, we'll see. So you've looked at your matchup, and you've got a pretty favorable matchup this week to keep your winning streak going. They're currently only predicted to get like 85 points. I mean, he's got to start Brock Osweiler at quarterback, for Christ's sakes.
Well, and
that's not good.
I was looking at that. His options are limited. He's got somebody on bye or somebody hurt, something like that. But yeah, Osweiler's. I mean. He's one of the worst quarterbacks in captivity right now. It is terrible. And I'm a Bronco fan, so I'm living it, dude. I don't know. It is what it is, but yeah, I'm happy he's starting Osweiler. I'll take that all day long. I mean, if that's the guy you're going up against, I'll take it.
I'm picking you to win. I think you hit him on a good week, and you're gonna go. Your division's going to come down to the last 3 weeks. You have to play all your division rivals the last 3 games of the season, and so do all the rest of your division mates. So you guys are going to, with 3 teams sitting as close to the top, it's going to be interesting down the stretch.
Yeah, I was looking at that last night. I honestly think there's a strong chance it's going to come down to the last game of the season with me and Mo Betta. He beat me once. So, I mean, and what you were saying earlier, if he sweeps, I'm out. As it stands now, I'm out anyway. Hot or not, points.
Well, see, that's what makes this matchup big. Is right now you and Vandalay Industries basically, if you didn't win your division, you would be tied for one of the wild card spots. Right now, 6 and 3 are the wild card spots. If it broke out right now, one of the 6 and 3s would be left out.
Yeah.
If the playoffs started right now.
Yep.
One of you guys. Games are huge down the stretch, and Travis is all of a sudden 1-2-2. He's all in the conversation all of a sudden.
Yeah.
With Renegade Missile.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting division. So do you have anything you would like to say to your opponent?
It's unfortunate. I feel bad for your quarterback. I'm really sorry about your quarterback situation, man. That sucks. But the one thing I will tell you, you're playing Osweiler. Keep in mind, way back when, I picked Kyle Orton first overall. So,
yes,
it is. It's doable. Things are always doable.
I will never let you forget that either.
Yeah,
ever.
Nor should you.
But you did win. You did win at all the next year. So
I did.
I guess you with the RG3 1 year flash in the pan won that man the championship.
Fact. It's a fact. Yeah, I got him on his good year. Yeah.
His 1 good year.
Yeah. That's all it took. But I'll take it.
That regular season to a championship.
And then
RG3 died, and that was the end of it.
I want that ring this year, though. Rings weren't a thing back when I won it. I want the ring.
No, you didn't get the ring.
Yeah,
you didn't get the ring. Now you got the ring.
Yeah.
So it's much different, and there's more money. It's more money too.
How much? What's on the line?
If you win your conference, you get $500. If you win the Super Bowl, you get another $5.
Okay.
So if you win it all, you're getting $1,000. If you just win your conference, you're getting $500.
Vandalay's going down. That's all I'm saying.
Now we're talking money. The whole tune's changed. He's like,
Vandalay's going down.
I don't feel sorry about your quarterback anymore.
Not so much. Yeah, I'm hoping somebody breaks Osweiler in half at about 6 minutes into the first quarter.
So yes, his sympathy has waned all of a sudden.
Yeah, it has. I'm not a big fan of guys getting hurt, but I hope Osweiler dies out there.
Oh,
good stuff.
I can't ever say I wouldn't root for a donkey death. I can't ever say that. Oh, alrighty. So we'll see how you do this week.
Yeah, thanks for jinxing me. Totally appreciate it. Yeah.
You're looking svelte there. What the hell are you eating out there?
Matter of fact, I changed my diet a little bit. I dropped 30 pounds. I'm down to 180. Yeah.
Good, man.
Yeah, thanks. So do you. This TV thing suits you.
Yeah, well, if somebody needs to start paying my ass, it'd be much better. But wait till you see my awesome hype video I'm putting together from the game I was at Miami. I've got tons of footage from all of the tailgating from this last weekend, so I'm putting that together for my other page. So
I'm glad you went. Awesome. I'm glad you went. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was an amazing time. Amazing time.
Good.
So, but I digress. We'll talk about that not on here.
Okay.
So, Donkey Punch against Vandalay Industries. That's your game of the week.
Game of the week. In the books. Put in the books right now.
All right.
I need a big win.
We'll see.
All right.
All righty. We'll check back in if you win.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. We'll be here. Right. We'll see you.
Good luck. All right. Says J-Dub, owner of Donkey Punch. I am good at jinxes. Owner of Donkey Punch, facing Vandalay Industries. Rob. I'm going with Donkey Punch. Rob just does not have a strong team coming into this week. But you're starting Brock Osweiler. Enough said. I don't think he has the possibility to not hit triple digits. He's projected like 85, but he's only got one slot not filled on his team, so the projections don't look far off for most of his players. So he's going to be in the low hundreds at best, and I think Donkey Punch rolls and continues on to their 6th win in a row. So Mo, better pull out a win. Scott, better pull out a win. No better butter and Ghost Man. Better keep pace. I think Donkey Punch goes to 7-3. So we will see. It's week 10. Hope the rest of you are ready for the challenge. Good luck. Game on.